What I've learned is this: we all have the power to prevent some of this pain. We can make choices that keep us and the people we love safe. We can walk away from fights. We can say no to friends who push us into trouble. We can speak up when we see something wrong. And most importantly, we can choose empathy.
This feature is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Turtola Pier Park, and Digicel. Sign up for Digicel Plus Home Light Bundles, faster internet, movies, and sports. September 26, 2025, the final day of the Virgin Islands Anti-Crime Summit in the Multipurpose Sports Complex, where the last group of students for the day converged, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. Every session saw tones suitable to the topic, but it was obvious that the mood shifted as the venue became an ocean created with tears when a mother took to the stage and shared with raw honesty the pain of losing her son to gun violence.
The sun had not risen. It was nothing similar to the day he was born. The phone rang after 1 a.m. that Saturday morning with the news that my son, my firstborn, had been shot. And I scurried, trying to ascertain how I'm going to get from Virgin Gorda to Tortola this hour of the morning. I dropped on my knees and I was praying to God to save his life. And then a second call came in at 3 a.m. and this one was from the hospital. It was Dr. Yeesing. I'll never forget those words. We lost him.
Her son, James Stout, an Army veteran and a young father, was shot and killed in December of 2021 in Tortola. Today, Joycelyn Walters speaks as a voice for all who have lost loved ones to gun violence. Her truth shared at the summit.
My name is Joycelyn Leonard Walters, and if I'm truthful, it is with much sorrow and dejection that I stand before you today with words no mother would ever have to find in their lifetime. My life and my heart was changed forever on December 11, 2021. I have been asked to share with you the truth, the real and lasting consequences of crime, not just for the victims, but for the families and the communities left with fragments of what once was. By a show of hands, how many of you know of someone who has been hurt, arrested, affected in some way by crimes in the Virgin Islands? Look around and you can see the real effects, what the real effects are. It touches more people than we can think or can imagine. For my family, we had the unwelcome experience of living through tragedy. Unlike the experience one has when watching the news, this experience has left a mark we'll carry forever. Let me be clear, I'm not here to lecture to you. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life or give you vague words of advice or caution. I'm here to simply share my story because I believe stories are powerful. And before the afternoon is over, you're going to hear from Roberto Small. It's ironic that he's actually Jamez's cousin, and he's going to tell you from his side what crime did to him as well. Stories help us see the world from a different perspective and often causes the listener and reader to imagine themselves in the joys or the sorrows of the story being told. Listen carefully and imagine that you were me. It felt like forever, but it had only been 9 months. By the time the sun rose over the horizon in the United States Virgin Islands on March 21st, 1990, I was ready. So in fact, that by the time I could muster enough energy to do anything further, my body determined it was time to meet my firstborn son. After months of contemplation, we settled on a unique name, one that would set him apart from any little boy born that day. Jamez Ashim Javon Stout, affectionately called Jam. He brought new joy and became the light of our lives. His early years are a testament to who he became. He was resilient in the face of a medical diagnosis, strong-willed, extremely loving, and athletic. These traits carried on in his life as he added a few more. He was a leader. He was very opinionated, respectful, artistic, and very intellectual. Oh, did I mention he was a boy's boy? And although loving, dirt digging, having so much energy, getting in all kind of trouble little boys did, type of boy, which kept me on my feet. We enrolled him in the St. George's Primary School, and I'm sure the records will show that he left an indelible mark there. He was a ram, you know, a BVI High School ram. His teenage years were filled with boyish rebellion, maturity harnessing, neighborhood friendship, and future building. It was at the end of his high school education that he made a decision to serve in the United States military, the Army branch. By this point, our family had grown. He had become a big brother twice over and was relishing the joys of having a baby sister and baby brothers who looked up to him. His home days were filled with protection of his siblings and playtime with them. And I watched in awe as he grew from a mama's little boy into a man. Jam served in Afghanistan as the first assignment after enlisting. We didn't talk about it much. But serving in the Army, it changes people. They see and experience a lot, and they're often expected to remain regular lives after service. For Jam, after all he experienced in the Army, all he wanted to do was come home. I tried to encourage him to stay, to go to school and get some experience, but he was so determined to come home to the Virgin Islands. And after his assignment, he moved back. And he took up employment at places like CCT, UPS, and eventually he's opened his own business, Military Cuts. It was a landscaping company and a tattoo business. And recently, before he died, he was successfully approved for a taxi livery license. I actually got it after he died. As a mother looking in from the outside with a close relationship with my son, it seemed to me that manhood looked good on him. My heart beamed as I gave him advice and often had to listen to advice from him. He wasn't perfect by any stretch, but he was perfectly mine. A man with a mission to be successful and ultimately create a family of his own. A dream he was able to realize. By the fall of 2019, Jam became a dad, and his world and heart changed. He was softer, gushier, more lovable. By some miracle, he managed to have a son who's his physical twin, Jameer. It was serendipitous actually watching my firstborn with his firstborn. The birth and existence of Jameer changed his life. He spent days and nights as a doting dad, rendering a million kisses and thousands of hugs as he cared for his son. His world had now changed forever, and he finally understood what the love for him I have felt like. It's unexplainable. You have to be a parent to understand that these little people who carry your DNA now means more to you than you could ever fathom. Jam documented every milestone, sharing on his social media platforms, and to anyone who would listen, all the joys of a fatherhood. I never see a man who loved a child so much. I used to ask him, "Only you have a child?" He couldn't wait to take his son to the basketball court and teach him how to play the sport he loved. And somehow he had already converted his little mini-me into a die-hard Miami Heat fan, just as he was. The sun had not risen. It was nothing similar to the day he was born. The phone rang after 1 a.m. that Saturday morning with the news that my son, my firstborn, had been shot. And I scurried, trying to ascertain how I'm going to get from Virgin Gorda to Tortola this hour of the morning. I dropped on my knees and I was praying to God to save his life. And then a second call came in at 3 a.m. and this one was from the hospital. It was Dr. Yeasing. I'll never forget those words. We lost him. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And our hearts were shattered in a million pieces. A bullet took him from us. And in one instant, everything he could have been, everything we dreamed he would become was stolen. The bullet left the nightclub that night and pierced that telephone screen that broke the news to me. There was disbelief, there was anger, there was fear, unfathomable love, fright, hope, shattered thoughts, racing heartbeat, all took turns as the world I once knew spiraled. The hows, the whens, the wheres, and the whys, one constant replay my thoughts. My lips could barely find the words to string sentences together. My heart, was it still there? Was it beating? Was I still alive? I couldn't tell the difference. A senseless act of violence stole him from his family, his son, and his future. It wasn't just one life that was lost. That day we lost all the memories that could ever be with a son, a father, a brother, a grandson, a cousin, a love, and a friend. We lost all the potential he had, the joy he would have brought, and the love he would have given. His baby, oh, his baby boy. How could we ever be able to explain or replicate or love him the same love? Oh, his baby boy had lost it all. The neighborhood lost a constant presence. His classmate lost a friend. His army buddies lost a war veteran, and us, we're still trying to find the shattered pieces left all over the floor of our hearts on December 11, 2021. One instance, one decision, one act, a lifetime of hurt, heartaches, and never-evers. Now, I want you to understand that when crime touches your family, it doesn't just affect the person directly involved, because actually Jam is gone. It shakes everyone around them. Parents, grandparents, siblings, cousins, and friends. It's about everyone who loved them. Jam's death has affected our entire family in ways I can't even begin to describe. I've lost my firstborn. No words will ever measure up to the weight of losing a child. It meant sitting in silence and asking why. It meant being angry with God. It meant birthdays and holidays, especially Christmas, are not the same. And it means that now there's one more day in the calendar to remember, except it's the one day I would prefer to forget. The day the life I gave birth to was actually stolen. I wasn't prepared for this. No one prepares you for this. The pain in the abdomen of a mother when she loses a child. The memories in the bank that no longer gain interest because we can't deposit any more memories. The fear of forgetting his smile, his voice, the mannerism. You can't see it, but I walk with a heavy heart daily. You may see me smiling, sometimes the biggest smile, but constantly screaming inside. Some may say time heals, but the truth is, how much time does one need to find a million pieces of a puzzle left on the floor of a mother's heart? Time allows us only to cope. There is always the feeling, actually not a feeling, the fact that something is missing. His sister, Chardonnay, she have had to receive counseling more than once because the pain was just too much to bear. His brother, Rejani, was in university at the time. He had to defer his studies until later. and his baby brother had to live in a world without his first hero. And then there's Jam's father. Jamette was his father's last child, and they had a very close bond. When he returned, I lived in Virginia, so he actually lived on Tortola with his father for a short period. They used to go to the movies and watch cartoons and just enjoy each other's company. Losing Jam has shattered his heart so much that he don't even want to partake in the upcoming trial because for him, there's no justice can bring back Jamez. That's the harsh truth. No amount of money, no court decision, no AI intervention can ever heal the pain that we feel. Crime has not just broken our hearts, it has taken away the chance for us to create more memories to see our loved ones grow. For Lil Jam is the most heartbreaking of all. He was barely 2 years old when he died. He won't even remember his dad. He'll grow up hearing the stories about him, but he won't remember the moments that they had together. I used to be amazed. Jam used to take this child to the park on the slide. He used to be on the slide like a big child. He took him to the beach. He took him to the ag fair just to see the animals. He won't remember the excitement in his father's eyes when he thought about teaching him how to play basketball or cheering him on his first day of school. That's what crime stole from him, his father's presence in his life. And his son deserves to have a father. Crime doesn't just steal people from us, it steals opportunities, it steals futures, it steals moments that we can never get back. And to add insult to injury, we now have the financial burdens that follows the hospital bill, the funeral costs, which is not cheap, the travel expenses, the counseling fees, constant reminders of a life lost. The emotional effects don't come at a bill, they come unexpectedly. And these you can't pay down or defer, you must go through them whenever the waves of emotions are high. Crime doesn't just create victims, it creates broken families and broken communities. A simple decision made in anger or peer pressure can mean years of pain for everyone that you never met. And here's the part most people don't think about. Crime doesn't just affect the victim's family. It also affects the family of the person who committed the crime. And you will hear from Robbie again talking about this. Imagine the mother of someone who went to jail for 25 years. They suffers too. Their little brother or sister suffers too. Their children suffers. So nobody walks away untouched. I don't want to leave you only with the pain, because even in our darkest moments, my family have found strength. We've learned to lean on each other, to lean on faith, to talk more openly, and most of all, to cherish every single day. My faith in God has not wavered. I now understand what him being a strong tower feels like. Knowing God before this incident has proven to be the best decision I've ever made. Even on the days when turmoil looms, there is a lingering peace that is unexplainable. I'm grateful to God, the same God who blessed me with my firstborn son. Understand the whys and the hows I question daily, and in spite of it all, he has a plan even for this. What I've learned is this: we all have the power to prevent some of this pain. We can make choices that keep us and the people we love safe. We can walk away from fights. We can say no to friends who push us into trouble. We can speak up when we see something wrong. And most importantly, we can choose empathy. Before you act, ask yourself, if I do this, how would it affect my mother, my brother, my sister, or someone else's family? You have the power to change the future. You are the future. You have the power to break the cycle of crime, to make a better choice. But it starts with you. It starts with the understanding that long-lasting effects of your action, not just on yourself, but on everyone who loves you. One choice can either build your future, or it can destroy someone else's. In closing, crime isn't about statistics or headlines. It's about real families like mine. It's about real pain, real loss, and real consequences. But it's also real responsibility. You have the power to make choices that change not only your life, but a life of everyone connected to you. Remember, every choice matters. Every decision ripples outwards. Don't let one moment of anger, pride, or pressure create a lifetime of regret. So I implore you to choose peace, choose love, choose life, choose to walk away. Choose to live your life in a way that honors not just your own future, but the future of those who love you. Every single one of us have the power to make that choice. Thank you for listening to my story, and I hope you carry it with you, and the next time you're faced with a tough choice, I hope you think twice, not just about yourself, but about the people who love you. Thank you. You did good.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Large and small corporations in the BVI can't be wrong. Bovi HR, a BVI-based integrated solution of employee timesheets, leave tracking, scheduling, employment letters, HR processes, pay slips, and tax reports, including NHI, Social Security, and Inland Revenue, will make your management of employees easier. While Bovi HR can cater to the needs of larger enterprises, it also works exceptionally well for small companies. To sign up, visit bovihr.com, that is BOVIHR.com, or call us at 342-9686.